The doors did not slam. There were no raised fists. But what happened inside that closed-door meeting has sent shockwaves through South Africa's political landscape. In a moment that insiders describe as deeply tense and unexpectedly personal, President Cyril Ramaphosa reportedly left a high-level National Executive Committee session following a bitter confrontation with Benedicta Sandlana. What unfolded inside that room may prove to be more than just a disagreement. It may signal a deeper fracture within the governing party at a critical moment for the nation. The National Executive Committee, commonly known as the NEC, is one of the most powerful decision-making structures within the African National Congress. It is here that strategy is shaped, crises are managed, and political futures are often decided. According to reports from sources familiar with the meeting, the session was originally convened to address mounting political pressure, internal party disputes, and strategic planning ahead of crucial national milestones. Expectations were that the gathering would project unity and discipline. Instead, it appears to have exposed unresolved tensions. Multiple accounts suggest that Benedicta Sandlana raised concerns that were sharply critical of the current leadership approach. While exact details remain confidential, insiders indicate that the discussion centered on governance direction, internal accountability, and the party's public image amid ongoing political challenges. Those present reportedly described the exchange as intense but procedural, with voices raised but within formal boundaries. However, the atmosphere allegedly shifted when the debate became increasingly direct, with pointed references to executive decisions under President Ramaphosa's leadership. Shortly thereafter, the president is said to have exited the meeting. President Cyril Ramaphosa remains one of the most significant political figures in South Africa's democratic era. Having risen from trade union leadership to the highest office in the land, his presidency has been closely associated with promises of renewal, institutional reform, and anti-corruption efforts. Benedicta Sandlana, while not holding the presidency, has emerged as a vocal and increasingly influential figure within certain internal party circles. Her reported confrontation is seen by analysts as symbolic of broader ideological and strategic tensions within the ANC. The fact that such a clash reportedly occurred at NEC level is politically significant. The NEC is traditionally a space where disagreements are handled internally to preserve party cohesion. A departure by the sitting president during such a session inevitably raises questions. While official statements remain limited, allegations have emerged that the exchange centered on strategic direction and internal governance concerns. Some sources suggest the debate touched on issues of party discipline and communication strategy. Others indicate it may have reflected frustrations from certain factions about policy implementation and leadership style. Importantly, there is no verified evidence of misconduct or procedural violation by any party involved. Reports suggest that the confrontation remained verbal and procedural, without physical altercation or formal breakdown of order. Nevertheless, political observers note that the symbolism of a president leaving an NEC meeting mid-session carries weight. In South Africa's political culture, symbolism often speaks louder than formal statements. South Africa is navigating a period of significant political recalibration. Economic pressures, public service challenges, and shifting voter dynamics have placed the ANC under increased scrutiny. Internal party unity is widely viewed as critical to governance stability. Any visible sign of division can fuel opposition narratives and erode public confidence. Opposition parties have already seized on reports of the confrontation, framing it as evidence of internal instability. However, within the ANC, senior members have reportedly moved swiftly to downplay the incident, describing it as robust internal democracy rather than a crisis. Political analysts suggest that intense internal debate is not new within the ANC. Historically, the party has experienced ideological clashes that later shaped major policy shifts. The question now is whether this moment represents a healthy democratic process or a deeper structural divide. As of now, official communications from party leadership have remained measured. Statements emphasize unity, collective leadership, and the importance of internal dialogue. There has been no indication of disciplinary proceedings or formal censure against Benedicta Sandlana. Similarly, there has been no official confirmation that President Ramaphosa's departure was an act of protest rather than scheduling necessity or strategic pause. This ambiguity has fueled speculation, but without formal documentation, the facts remain limited to reported accounts. Within institutional structures, party elders are said to be engaging in behind-the-scenes consultations aimed at preventing further escalation. Maintaining internal cohesion is considered paramount as the country approaches sensitive political timelines. Supporters of President Ramaphosa view the reports as evidence of unfair internal pressure on a leader navigating complex national challenges. Others interpret the confrontation as a sign that dissenting voices are asserting themselves more boldly within party structures. On social media and political forums, the narrative has ranged from concern about instability to praise for internal accountability. In South Africa's vibrant democratic environment, internal political drama often resonates beyond party headquarters. Citizens closely watch such developments, not merely as party politics, but as indicators of national direction. The long-term implications of this incident remain uncertain. If managed constructively, the confrontation could catalyze renewed dialogue within the ANC about strategy, communication, and leadership style. Internal criticism, when channeled productively, can strengthen institutional resilience. However, if factional tensions deepen, the consequences could extend into policy execution and public perception. Political stability relies not only on constitutional structures but also on perceived unity at the highest levels of governance. Analysts caution against drawing premature conclusions. South African political history shows that moments of visible tension sometimes precede periods of recalibration rather than collapse. The image of a president walking out of a powerful committee meeting carries undeniable symbolic weight. Yet symbolism does not always equate to structural rupture. Was this a brief but intense disagreement in the spirit of internal democracy? Or does it signal a broader contest over the party's future direction? For now, the full details remain confined to those who were inside that room. What is clear is that South Africa stands at a politically sensitive crossroads. Leadership cohesion, public trust, and institutional credibility are under close observation, both domestically and internationally.